just Citroen and just Hyundai at Preston, the garage that delivered my Citroen and me. Mark there, I think he's the general sales manager, or I'm not quite sure of his title, so if I've got that wrong, I apologise straight away. But he's a big fan of electric vehicles, and I think it's fair to say that I'm not. I've been in the car trade for 50 years, selling petrol, diesels and so on, and I'm a bit of a dinosaur. He's embraced technology and he loves his electric cars. And if anything, he's trying to get me to embrace them too, or drag me kicking and screaming into the 21st century. So he's lent me an Ioniq, which I really liked. Reminded me of an Austin Maxia or that sort of shape, or Maestro. No, an Austin Maestro it reminded me of. And this one, the Ioniq 6, most cars like the Audis, Mercs and BMWs, you can tell them straight away. Audis just look like somebody's designed one car and made it bigger or smaller, and that's it. But this is so different to the Ioniq 5. The other one is like quite a square angled shape, but I'll try and show you how it drives in an impartial, since I don't like electric cars, in an impartial way. And this is just completely round. It's got the lowest drag coefficient of a car, I believe at the moment, 0.21. Now I remember when I think it was the Carlton came out, and it was something like 0.3, 0.34, and then the Calibra, and that was, you know, they didn't think they'd be able to get any better than that. But this is just all flush. Even the back, it's like designed to make the airflow round it properly, and just slice through the air. It's I don't know how to say this really. At the back it reminds me of a Porsche. It reminds me of an old, very old Porsche 911 with the little ducktail on the back. But it's driving it down here, it drives lovely. Now I'm going to get going. Foot on the brake, click start. There we are, we're all up. Into drive, and I'm just big wheels on this thing, diamond cut and gloss black, and I don't want to catch them, otherwise I'll be paying for them, so I don't want to do that. So here we go. Now, one of the things that I think at the moment, when you go and pick a new car up or a used car from a garage, it's got just about the minimum fueling it's possible to get. And that's no problem, because you jump in it and you drive up the road half a mile, and you find a petrol station, a fuel station. The manufacturers are trying to go to a agency sales where I don't think it will work, and also lots of these, the way electric cars are being sold at the moment, I think is completely wrong, and I think it's going to spoil it, and I think it's going to, what we call in the trade, if you lose a customer, it takes so long to get them, but it's so easy to lose them, and we call it burning a customer. Now, I've noticed that quite a few cars for sale on the internet, and people I've spoken to, they've bought an electric car and they don't like it, and they've gone back to petrol and diesel. And as a salesman, I mean, I don't sell electric cars at the moment, but I've been in plenty of management positions where we've had cars that didn't sell, and you have to get into the mindset of the customer and try and understand why they don't sell. And I think it's the experience buying an electric car. So Mark, last night, told me this has been taxed and asked if I wanted to test it, which was very, very kind of him. And of course I jumped at the chance. Vehicle only taxed, out the showroom yesterday, so there's no charge in it, or hardly any charge. It was about 60 miles. And I think with the agency sale and these leasing companies that are springing up all over the place, and these agency sales and the leasing companies, they're what you call disruptors. They're trying to get you. You decide to buy a car, you go to a dealer. They're disrupting it. They're in the middle. They stop you from getting to the dealer, and they make the money. Now, the dealer has all the equipment, all the salesmen, all the big fancy premises. The leasing companies usually have a little office. To be fair, they can be working from the bedroom, because all they do is take your money, give it somebody else, and take a cut. They don't do anything else. Cars delivered to you sometimes on a trailer, dropped off at your house, and it will probably not be fully charged. And that's where your experience begins. Now, you only get one chance to make a good first impression, and if that customer has a car dropped off, can't charge it at home, say, no 3-pin plug, charger, this one's got a massive big thick cable in the back. So I picked the car up this morning with no charging. I've never charged an electric car. I have a little Citroen Ami myself, and I just plug it into the 3-pin socket and it charges. So I've never charged an electric car at a public charger before. Never tried, never needed to. So this morning I picked the car up from Mark, and I'd seen a public charger. I'm always in Starbucks, as you probably know if you watch my videos, and I'd seen public chargers near Waitrose next to it. So I drove there, and it was remarkably simple. I have seen people complain that that's one of the biggest issues, going to public chargers and downloading an app or something. But this one, all you did was hold your phone up to the charger, open, it reads the Q code or the Q card, opens the page, and then just click on it, start charging, and it takes the money out of your account. You've got to fill your debit card details in. Now, I think, what am I on now? 86 miles. I've done a few miles. I think it got up to 90 miles, and it was about 60. It's put, that charge is not a particular good one, and it put about 30 mile in an hour while I was setting my cameras up and having a Starbucks. So that's not fantastic, but there's fast chargers which will put, I believe, in about 15-20 minutes, about 60 mile in, perhaps even more. I don't know, but that's the worst experience. You get a car dropped off, and the first thing you have to do is find a charger and then go, and sit there and mess about with an app. For instance, I had to remember to bring my reading glasses, otherwise I'd have been snookered. So we've got enough charging it now, driving it, obviously all this equipment, there's no handbooks anymore, it's all online. Even the brochures from Citroen, all online. You can't beat brochures. You sit there, there's nothing I like more than taking a car in, and the original owner has still got the brochure and his notes in the brochure that he wrote, and what spec he wanted, and all stuff like that, all good. I think that is diluting the experience of buying a new car, and I think it needs to go back to that. Now I can feel here we've got lane departure warning, I think. Let's just see. So lane departure warning's on. There's nothing behind. I'll just try and go across. Yeah, it's pulling me back there, look. So that's the lane departure warning. Looks like it's got Distronic cruise control on it as well. What's this? Drive mode. There we go. Normal, sport, eco. I'm going to leave it on eco because we're now down to 81 miles. I've got the aircon on. Listen to that noise. Like a low pitch whine. It's setting off, but that's about it. This is a good stretch of motorway. So we've hardly any tyre noise. It's quiet as anything. I mean, I have to say, it's lovely to drive. And obviously, you don't get the engine noise, which I like. I'm just gonna actually, I'm gonna try and get us to a place called Rivington Barn. It's my weekend off. I haven't got a whole lot of time today. I've got stuff on today, so I'm going to try and get this test drive and review squeezed in to a couple of hours today. I can't go up to the normal place I go, but let's have a look what we got. So that's the drive mode there. You can swap about. It looks like it's got collision warning. There you go. It's warning me there's something coming up, or blind spot monitor. Normally it would be in the mirrors, but that's picking it up on the actual car itself. Got your indicators there. Wipers on the right. Headlights are there. Get up here. As soon as you accelerate, there's that little whine. You've got power there, mid-band. I know nothing about this car. This is straight in. I'm just looking on the inside of those mirrors. It looks like they're channeled as well for the airflow. It's a 77 kilowatt motor. I believe it's the same one that's in the Ioniq 5. However, because this is more aerodynamic, it will actually travel further than the Ioniq 5. Nothing else, just the design of the bodywork. Let's see here. What does that do? Wow. Oh God. Now that's the keep hands on the steering wheel. So that's actually steering me. Here we go also. Your regen. If you hold the pedal down on the right, there we go. That's turning regen up. I can feel it as we're going down the hill here. That's maximum there. It's stopped me virtually. So you can alter the regen, more on the left, less on the right, but so that's nothing virtually. I want regen on. What I'm going to do on the right hand side, the pedal on the right hand side, if you hold that on, that's on auto now. I'm going to put it on maximum regen because that's the lane departure warning. Wow, fancy parking like that. It's still in the middle of the road. I'm actually going to turn the regen up right to the top. See if we can grab some miles back. I'm going to turn the aircon up a bit more. So we want the fan. I don't want these cameras overheating. So cruise control is on there. Let me just see that. So that's right. So that's the cruise control button. You've got there the trip counter. What can I say? That's tyre pressures. And there you go, back to your display. How many miles an hour you're doing. And there, your charge. And also the distance you have left. Turn this up even more, try and cool that down. Despite my best attempts, the front camera is overheated in seemingly minutes. So there, your global lock-in, electric windows. I'll just set the cruise. 41. Just increasing the speed to 50 there. So that's 50. The lane departure's on again. I've got my hands on the steering wheel. It's just actually guiding me. I'm going to knock that off. I don't like that. I'm going to go up Tock Holes, this is called. And when I get to the top of Tock Holes, I might get that GoPro and smash it to pieces. Wow, I'm sure that was a Chevette HS. We've just got the normal map there. Again, it's telling you battery 22% range, 66. Nearby charging stations. That's your nice, clean, clear display. Nav, how to search. With Siri, you just, you know, the voice activation usually, or, well, that's the easiest way to do it with Siri. I think one thing is that obviously you need a fast charger. The charger I was on at Waitrose, it said to complete the charge it would be something like 9 hours. And this car has got a massive range. So a big battery. Front center armrest there with, looks like 2 USB-C plugs in there, charging plugs. Behind us, Sunday driver, and to be honest I don't blame them because it's a beautiful part of the country here. Just see if that Chevette is still here. It is. Cut the corner much. So it's showing you the speed limit on the dash there, 50 miles an hour. We're doing 40. I'm going to put the cruise on again. It's warning me I'm going across the road, lane departure warning. Set it to 50. There we go, 50. That's just at this moment it's actually, I wonder what it'll do here. I don't like the look of this. Yeah, it's steering around the corner. That is spooky. I don't like that. I'm knocking that off. So there's bags of room in it. Your parking brakes on the right hand side there. Your electric door mirror switches just there. It's just out of my eye line, to be fair. Here, a height and I'm assuming it's reach adjustable steering wheel as well, just there. Steering wheel's a nice feel. I'm assuming that's artificial leather. Seats are nice. This is the mid-range vehicle. I think he said it was the premium, so no leather. But again, I suppose if you want to save the planet and get an electric car, then I'm not sure about the screens and everything, but perhaps no leather. Drives very, very nice. I have to say that the range anxiety side of things, and I've said this before, I'll drive a petrol or diesel car and the light will be flashing, there's no fuel left, and I still go out in it. And this, my Citroen Ami, it's got 45-mile range and does 28 miles an hour top speed. And this is, I've still got 63 mile left, and already I'm worrying about charging it. I was going to say it's evolution, but it's just, new. Well, that was a somewhat futuristic manoeuvre. What we're coming into here. So it's 50 here on the dash, it's showing 50, 50, and beep onto 30. It's very easy to sneak up on. When you're in an internal combustion engine car, you know from the kind of the sound of the engine or the revs whether or not you're speeding. This is pretty much the same all the time. The only thing you can judge is from tyre noise, and of course the different surfaces you can't really tell from the tyre noise. Whereas the engine noise and note is consistent no matter what surface you're on, the tyres aren't. So you've like got a sixth sense telling you that it's you're speeding, and you do just, it runs away with you. You know, there's no doubt it's a lovely car, and with a 328 mile range, I think. You know, with this kind of test only happening or late last night, and I already had work to do, they want a whole lot of research I could do, so I've just basically jumped in it. And it's not really a review, it's just a first impressions and a drive in it. And it is lovely. Don't get me started on the electric things. I've got the air conditioning on full blast in here, and both of these cameras have overheated. warning me I'm going across the road again. So we've got a low battery, I think 61 miles, it's showing range 20%. Search stations, so search stations, it's showing nearest one Chorley, V-End Electric Private, Pod Point, Shell Recharge, Scepter Way, Bamber Bridge, so here we go, all these things, passenger airbag, quiet mode, warmer climate, settings, go into settings, vehicle EV, navigation, sound, phone connection,